Hey everyone, it's been a minute since my last book vlog, so if you're completely new to this channel, then allow me to quickly catch you up. I've written a book. It's a sort of coming-of-age story inspired by real events, and there's a hefty appreciation for video games thrown into it. So if that sounds right up your street, then make sure to hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with all the latest happenings as I try and get this book published. Now, for today's vlog, I want to look at the backdrop of the book. I've already mentioned that it's inspired by my teenage years, which, if I'm being honest, were a bit of a mess. And I've also mentioned that video games play a huge part as a form of escapism for the main character. So think Ready Player One with a healthy dose of the perks of being a wallflower. But I haven't actually explained what the main character is trying to run away from. So, drum roll please. It's an all-boys secondary school. Worst surprise ever. Now, if you didn't go to an all-boys secondary school, you might be wondering what the big deal is. But I'm telling you, attending an all-boys school is like going to prison, except you get to leave at the end of the day. It is just the backdrop for unchecked machismo. And without any female voices to counterbalance all the raging hormones at play, it just becomes a breeding ground for toxic masculinity. In fact, I'd argue that it was probably in all-boys schools where toxic masculinity was born. It all leads to such a hostile environment, the likes of which I've just not seen since. And I wanted to depict that on the page, not only to connect with people who might still be dealing with the trauma of having gone through all of that stuff, but to also show the reality of these schools to people who were otherwise unaware. One of the most interesting parts about these schools is that they were intensely hierarchical. Right at the top, you had the boys who were most likely to be expelled, and they often were. These boys were constantly getting into fights, and mostly because any perceived slight against their masculinity just had to be extinguished. Fun fact, you know those police car chase shows that are usually on during the day? Yeah, I've seen several old classmates make an appearance there. And below those guys, you had anyone who was good enough at sports to be left alone. You can't be picking on the people who might help you win a match in PE. Or those who were tall enough to be left alone, i.e. anyone who was tall enough to feel too imposing to bully. Then you had everyone else. The kids who just didn't have any confidence to stand up for themselves, nor any strength to withstand a fight. And being a ghostly pale and drastically skinny teenager at the time, I found myself firmly in this third camp. Now, I'm not bringing this up for any kind of sympathy. All you need to know there is that the whole experience taught me a great deal about the person I want to be as an adult. The reason why I'm bringing this up is that for a first book, I couldn't think of another backdrop that I wanted to depict more than this. William Golding had it right when he depicted the absolute chaos of a society run by adolescent boys in Lord of the Flies, because I got to witness that play out in real time. Plus, the educational system, and particularly the secondary school level, is just such a fascinating topic to cover for me. When you're going through it, it feels so all-encompassing that you almost feel kidnapped by the system. You know that there is some form of life beyond school because you can see adults around you, but you just can't really envision that for yourself. And then one day it just ends, and all the bullshit and all the hierarchy that came with it just washes away. And that's a very strange thing to process as you move towards becoming your own person. It's just a process that I'm kind of fascinated by, and so I wanted to encapsulate that in this first novel. So if this book does see the light of day, you'll see the cold, harsh reality of the secondary school system juxtaposed with the pure escapism of video games, and hopefully that comes together to form a compelling narrative. In the meantime though, I hope you enjoyed this video, and of course if you want to see more videos like this, why not hit that like and subscribe button. But either way, thank you for watching.